Okay. Yeah, just excited to have a little break here, get rejuvenated, and or rarely do you get to have a home Thanksgiving with their team. So pretty good and look forward to Eastern Washington. We haven't played a team like this. They're very interchangeable, all about 6'6" to 6'8" out there. See a lot of the same offensive influences, and I'm sure Coach Riley had his hand in last year and previous to the program. So gave us we were very fortunate to beat them last year, and they had a really good team, and it looks like they have the makings of such a squad again.
Jamie, go ahead.
Morning, Coach. How was your Thanksgiving?
Great. It's a great holiday.
Oh, it certainly is. Certainly is. You talked about having Thanksgiving at home and just kind of having everyone be able to rejuvenate. Was there a reason you guys weren't in a MTE this year, or excuse me, a holiday tournament?
We're contracted to be in some sort of MTE. I think we're actually playing part of it. I have no idea. We're moving forward. We should be in one. I know we're in next year. I think we're contracted to be in Diamond Head, which is if I could do it in Hawaii every year, I would try. They need to have 4 of them. We could just if we do one every year. Obviously sitting here watching some teams play in some of these events, and I think it'd benefit us greatly. And hopefully we play well enough and the non-conference and it won't be something that bites us in the butt.
So it was just a scheduling thing this year.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I don't have as much, I'm not as hands-on the scheduling as I probably should be, but yeah, we'd like to be in one every year. We'd like to play a couple games in Spokane, trying to get our footprint there. We're trying to get something in Seattle as a non-conference situation, and then playing a MTE, and then I probably with the ACC Big Ten, there's going to be some kind of event or something that we'll play those games. So I think moving forward it'll be a little more spiced up like that. Should be good.
I think I asked you after the Idaho game something about some of the NBA scouts were there and at practice, and you said they were looking at Noah, Mohammed, and FA. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I think that's they don't tell me or whatever. They definitely. I know FA has been a guy, the prospect that they've been, they were following last year, and then Mohammed is coming with, he's from Prolific Prep and he's been on some draft boards and stuff, so they're definitely monitoring and checking him. And then I just think Noah's an all-league player whose dad played in the NBA and probably be one you better have a good pulse on.
Have they given you kind of any feedback on the guys and what they think they need to work on, et cetera?
They're not too much. No, to be honest, they just kind of monitor them, and they're probably not going to ask me. They're probably trying to get intel from other sources. And I mean, they're basically detectives trying to find out about them. And I'm only going to say positive things. That's the nature of my job. And I'd hope my boss would only say positive things, but I just think they're there to do their job. And I think the practice thing, I mean, they get glean a lot more when they see live action games, and usually the Pac-12 tournament is kind of the place where they all get there and congregate that time of year because everything's in Vegas, and they watch all the conference tournaments, and this is just kind of fact gathering this time of year.
And then just kind of speaking of FA Mohammed, are you still trying to kind of figure out a way to get FA Mohammed, Deshaun all kind of in that rotation? It seems that every game one of them has kind of played a little less. Is it kind of difficult though, just having 3 bigs all extremely talented and extremely good?
A little bit, but I mean more of a function of FA's conditioning. Mohammed's probably playing maybe a few more minutes, or right there for a freshman to be effective for 20 minutes a game is, and I think he'll just get better as he goes. And then Deshaun he's missed some practice time too. And we do need there are going to be certain matchups where we need to be playing big ball. And that's what we were doing last year with Deshaun and FA a lot. So I look at it, when you're playing Arizona and USC, we're going to have to play, I'd imagine big, with all 3 of them, 2 of those guys at a time, maybe not the whole game, but a good chunk of it. So, it's just ironic. You just got funky matchups in league where some teams you better you better have a bigger lineup that can keep those guys off the glass.
We talked a little bit about Brant after the Seattle U game and, how well he played against you guys. And then he's gone on and started a few games. Vov was playing a big role at San Francisco. Jazz just had, I think, 21 points the other night. I assume it's good to see those guys succeed at other places.
Absolutely. Shoot, I wish there's one or two of them we've been all right. But honestly, I feel like we're very fortunate to have Matt DeWolf kind of step in here as a fifth-year guy, and he hasn't been able to show as much in games, but he's really made us better as as a leader. Actually, I didn't expect that. It's just his work habits and that, and he's been really good in practice, and we'll need him moving forward. But I saw Bova last night, and he looked like he's moving a little better. I think he's actually socially more comfortable there. Not to diminish Pullman, but there's a big Ukrainian community, and they have two guys that speak Russian. So I just think he's has a little more in common there, and obviously I know the coaching staff there, so I was happy for him there. And I didn't want Jazz acted on his own on that one. I didn't want to see him leave, but I also want guys that really want to be here.
Apple Cup prediction?
Cougs. But you need a number? Big.
I mean, if you don't mind.
Cougs big. Let's see, 41-14. No, we're wrong. We're up tonight, baby.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
All right. Thanks.
Stefan, you have any questions? Anything else? Jamie, Stefan?
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
good.
Coach.
Oh, sorry.
Coach Stefan with the Lewiston Tribune here. Good to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah, you mentioned Thanksgiving. Anything in particular you guys did as a team or anything along those lines?
Yeah, Wednesday, was it Tuesday? We had practice, and then we did a little community service event, and I had to explain to our guys that true charity isn't something you promote, and probably should be mentioned now. But our guys are so good about their attitude about giving back to the community, and did a nice gesture for our guys, and then came the day off, and then we practiced Thursday morning, and we had a team Thanksgiving dinner. I'll give a shameless plug for Zoe's. My big Mike spent a big portion of his Thanksgiving put together an incredible spread, so our guys could have some, family time away from their family. But it's an opportunity for our team to grow together and bond, and I think they really do. Our guys really enjoy one another, and explain to the international guys what Thanksgiving is, and pretty universal idea to give thanks to all the blessings we have.
Awesome. And you mentioned the Eastern game last year was obviously pretty close. I guess, what do you remember about that one and what it came down to? And obviously a different team this year, but what's kind of just tough about these guys?
They're really hard to guard, and they really put an emphasis, and same thing with this team. They're gonna have 5 guys out there that can make a 3. There's no one that you're just gonna be able to help, and that makes you hard to guard and puts you in a pickle. And I had no idea how good Tanner Groves was at the time. He really hadn't played that big a role, and we couldn't guard him. And they just got good, and then they're spread out, and they're on the same. So they got big perimeter guys that can make 3s, plus their bigs can step out and make it. So that's a bit that's most challenging. And we were very fortunate. We went to zone late in that game, and basically that was a Hail Mary, and they probably didn't expect it, and somehow it flipped the momentum. We were able to win that game.
Awesome. You're looking at these last 2 home games you guys had outside of that Idaho one, which is basically a home game. You guys had these kind of massive leads, and then it ends up being a little closer by the end. I guess, what do you kind of attribute that to, and how does that maybe help you guys having some of those tough second halves?
Yeah, no, I think it's part of learning to be good and handling success. And I like it. I'd rather have a team that gets up big early than has to rally late. So I think playing with the lead is a challenge. I think defensively we've kind of melted a little bit second half. We've come out with such spark, and some might be I'm not playing enough depth, or I'm studying in the second half, and might have to that because we're not turning people over and like we are in the first half. Some of it's defending away from our bench. This when they're in front of us, we're pretty active, man. We're on their stuff and that. So I think that's, and as much as I think it's a cutthroat mentality and mindset that, hey, we got to sustain the way we're playing and, not let teams are going to come at you. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to fight. They're going to flop. They're going to do some things. And we can't look shocked like, oh, these guys aren't going away. I think that's part of trying to become good.
Awesome. Yeah, starting to wrap up from me. Obviously a big theme for you guys this year is just has been the team's depth with so many players in double-digit minutes. What is kind of practice like with so many guys who can play basketball, even going beyond 10 guys, that you guys have played?
You know what? I tell them pretty much my talk from October 1 till now is like, look, we don't have any bad players. The hardest job as a coach is to settle in on 7 or 8 guys are going to get the majority of the minutes. And those guys that are in that 9, 10 and beyond role, we have to have great attitude. You don't know when your number is going to be called. And there's no way to clearly identify, that's a hard thing. It's like, I love them all. I can't play them all 35 minutes. That's how it works. And they have to handle that for us to be good. And practice is competitive. It's hard for us to put together one group that can just dominate. It's close. I think yesterday was like we scrimmaged a little bit and it was like 18-15, red team won, whatever. And it's like, and that can, hopefully that team wins a majority. So I got it close to right, but it can be, just there's guys like I said, and I'm sure he's tired of it, but I reference how, Ryan, now I can count on him. He played 19 minutes a game. Don't go away. You don't know when your situation is, but also to keep some other guys aren't playing maybe as much as they hope. Like, yeah, look how he's handled it. And look how TJ Bombo went through last year where his minutes were very inconsistent. Now he's kind of shored up some of his deficiencies and become a really consistent guy for us.
Yeah. Obviously it's a really long season, conference coming up. I mean, how is that just the minutes some of those guys are getting now? I guess, what does that kind of do for you guys down the road?
I think you want to get some guys certain minutes, develop them for now or later in the season. And, even in the future, I mean, you'd like to get them as many minutes as possible, but the nature of the sport, as you move into the season, it usually shrinks down to 8, 9 and 10 are usually foul situational or foul situations, also just matchup or foul situations. So trying to figure out between a couple guys that are pretty similar and what just makes our team best.